Jund deck, or Jund, Grixis, Abzan, these style of decks, burn is good against them.
Don't say that about Grixis. No bad matchups.
Yeah, okay.
No, but Jund, there are some awkward elements going on here. Casting a Thoughtseize is not always going to do very much for you.
I don't want a Thoughtseize Lava Spike.
Casting a Dark Confidant will also just be actively bad.
Yeah, there's a lot of issues. You might ask, Kalitas, the new trend in Jund, that's a card with lifelink. That could be good here. How many does Emma have?
Just one, but there is a second copy on the sideboard. There's also a Huntmaster of the Fells that gains 2 life, so that's something. Scavenging Ooze, another avenue to gain life. So that's a very good card in this matchup.
Jasper on the play, and here come the red spells. Turn 1. Oh, snow-covered mountain. All right, good style, Mr. Johnson-Epstein. And it's going to be the turn 1 Goblin Guide, flipping Tarmogoyf for her. So 2 damage in, Emma down to 18.
Snow-covered mountain likely signaling Scrying Sheets and Mouth of Ronam. Is that what we're working with? Scred. Okay, Scred red. Actually, just none of the above.
Yeah, actually, yeah. I was trying to name, is it like Karplusan Wolverine, one of the cards with snow matters? There's like some dragon. I think there's some dragon that cares about snow mana.
Rhymewind Dragon, or that's Rhyme Scale Dragon.
Rhyme Scale Dragon.
And
Rhyme Feather Owl.
Stalking Yeti.
Okay. He's playing none of these. Emma, her turn. She does actually have a good play for the matchup. A turn 1 Grim Lavamancer. This is a 1 of in her main deck. Not standard in Jund, actually, but I think this is a really strong play.
On the play, this would be great. The fact that we're fetching, taking 2 off of our shock land.
Oh, we did 3 to ourselves for this?
And we're already facing a Goblin Guide.
Ooh, I don't like giving my burn opponent lava spikes.
We're crossing our fingers, but this could be good.
We're just hoping Jasper doesn't Searing Blaze it and swing. That would just be, then put us to 10. Yeah.
And if we want to cast Lavamancer on turn 1, there's actually no basic mountain in Jund. They need forests, they need swamps, they care about Bleeding Blood Moon. So the basic mountain is just
plenty of mountains.
Exactly, that's just not a thing.
Talked about what might not want to happen. Land Searing Blaze, 3 to Lavamancer, 3 to Emma, Goblin Guide swings.
Actual worst case scenario.
Oh, Thoughtseize is going to be her next draw. That
Compounded 1 level further.
Do you even cast it? Emma's at 10.
Maybe you see if there's something clever that Jasper is up to. It's extremely unlikely that she wins this game. See if maybe there's like some shard volleys or something weird in Jasper's deck that can cue you into some specifics while you sideboard.
Spoiler alert, there is 1 shard volley in Jasper's deck. Yeah, that's gross. Emma's at 10 on turn 2. Here's Tarmogoyf. Okay, creature, land, sorcery. It's a 3/4. That's a good number of getting out of range.
Right.
But Jasper might have 10 points of burn. I mean, he hasn't had to use any burn yet.
Correct, and a second creature plus a burn spell. That's even just fine.
Tarmogoyf is one of the better cards against burn.
Yes.
Maybe it's an episode.
You want a better supporting cast, but it is definitely very powerful.
This is such a bad sign for Emma. Jasper's play for the turn was Monastery Swiftspear attack. Okay, Emma's top card is Huntmaster of the Fells, but 4 mana, that's the game. We're going to worry about that if and when it happens.
Yeah, we're not there yet.
A block by Emma on the Goblin Guide. Lightning Bolt at Emma. And then she just motions her hand. All right, just bring it.
Come at me, bro. What you got?
Yeah, I get it. This is bad.
Am I dead? Just tell me if I'm dead.
Emma's at 5. Goblin Guide is in the graveyard. Jasper, 4 cards in hand. Emma at 5. That is bad for the Jund player.
Looks like she has a Lightning Bolt for the Swiftspear. Crossing our fingers on this one. Jasper's odds are very high.
And like if she wanted the Swiftspear dead, she could have bolted on her turn. But here's the issue: if you're playing around 2 prowess triggers, name 2 spells that prowess the Swiftspear that don't just kill Emma outright.
Right. And Jasper looks like he's getting a little flooded. So on the
Lightning
following
Bolt for
turn,
Emma. Okay.
If Emma has a basic land into Huntmaster of the Fells, suddenly she's on 7. If it's a shock land, I think we just play it taps.
Yeah, it's okay.
Fetch lands plus
Burn
1.
Catacombs. She's at 4. I believe Jasper's only spell is Skull Crack. So Huntmaster of the Fells will be cast. It's going to try to make a wolf token. Will Jasper Skull Crack? Because the wolf will gain 2 life. He will. Emma goes to 1.
So
how fast can she kill him?
Now we need Jasper to draw a land or a creature on this turn.
So denying those 2 points of life gain means that Goblin Guides and Monastery Swiftspears are now concerns for Emma.
Well, not given the fact that she has 2 2/2s in play.
Yeah, but she might have to leave back a blocker. She can't push the pedal all the way down. Jasper's draw is Eidolon of the Great Revel. Okay.
So
it's not a burn spell.
Unless Emma has another 4-mana spell, she's likely going. Well, she has to just pass the turn here. That'll cause the Huntmaster to flip and deal 2 damage to the Eidolon. So that's not going to be a lasting effect on this game.
A overgrown 2-minute play tap for Emma. Because of that 2/2, Emma cannot swing any of her creatures. She doesn't want them to trade with Eidolon. She'll put Jasper down to 12. Okay. 12. We're going to just confirm some life totals here. If Jasper has missed a couple pivotal land drops, she needs him to miss 1 or 2 more.
Yeah, she needs a bad draw step for Jasper here.
So 11. 2 to the Eidolon, 2 to Jasper. It's just this one draw. I believe she has 9 power.
She has lethal on the following turn.
She has Raging Ravine in play. She has more than lethal.
Needs to be a creature or a land. No spells here.
So Jasper upkeep will crack a fetch land. Just get a land out of your deck.
Get a land out of the deck.
Yeah, I'll do it again.
Get 2 of them. Even Searing Blaze without a land drop is lethal here. Just like everything, every spell is lethal.
Just all of them.
Gets a land on tap because it produces white. Sure. Sacred Foundry will make Boros Charm live.
Big top deck here coming for Jasper, yeah. And Emma knows it. She needs to dodge one more top deck. To win this matchup, she needs some luck on her side.
How much has Emma practiced cutting the deck? There's just no skill here. Is it on top? Your fate?
It's down to the top deck. Is it Lightning Bolt? Game 1, Jasper Johnson-Epstein.
Oh, there was so much build up, and then he just gets it. That never feels good.
And he knows it. Emma was on some borrowed time there. Jasper had missed a lot of top decks. The last one draw step away from taking game 1 from Emma. But it is Jasper on top. Let's look at the sideboards.
All right, so Emma does have some good cards here. Yeah. We have Kitchen Finks, 3 copies of those. Those will gain some life as they enter the battlefield and potentially come back to gain life again later.
It's just a slam dunk that those are going to be in the deck now.
Correct. 1 copy each of Kalitas, Trader of Get, and Obstinate Baloth. The one with a life-licking body that's outside of Lightning Bolt range. The other one, a body that gains life when it enters the battlefield and is also conveniently out of Lightning Bolt range.
Anything that says gain life on it just seems awesome.
Right, and the last card that we're looking at here is Courser of Crufix.
That says gain life, all right.
1 copy on that, and just a 2/4 can get in front of all of Jasper's creatures.
Now, I want to ask you about cards like Kozilek's Return or Anger of the Gods. Now, all of Jasper's creatures do have 2 toughness, so they are clean sweepers, but does that matter?
In my experience, they're just too slow. I've sideboarded a lot of Electrolyze out against burn decks. You just need to deal with Goblin Guide on turn 1 and 2.
Well, on the play, does it matter? Like on the play, could they be fast enough? On the draw, I think I'm with you.
Right. It's a question of what we're actually boarding out. So she's for sure getting rid of Dark Confidants. Good chance we're getting rid of Thoughtseize. Inquisitions are going to stay in. And if we want to cut more things, we could possibly get rid of, say, Liliana of the Veil for a sweeper, something like that. Or the Maelstrom Pulse is worse than these cards. But
that much makes sense. All right, let's go to Jasper's side. This is such a good matchup main deck that I wouldn't be surprised if he has very little in this for this one. He has 1 Grim Lavamancer, a full playset of Core Firewalkers, an Electrickery, a Path to Exile, 2 Ancient Grudges, 1 Deflecting Palm, 3 Destructive Revelries, 1 Searing Blades, and 1 Stony Silence.
Grim Lavamancer kind of lets you manage Tarmogoyf. You force Emma to have all of the card types in her graveyard. So I like Lavamancer here. Searing Blaze isn't really going to interact super well on this, and those are the only 2 cards that I'm looking at. There's not a lot of action for Jasper.
How do you feel about Path to Exile? We saw Tarmogoyf be a really good card against his deck that game.
I personally want to sideboard in Path to Exile as little as possible. This is mostly for the Infect decks, the decks that are going to kill you very quickly unless you have the Path. If we're bringing it in against Tarmogoyf, I much prefer the plan of using the Lavamancer, manage the graveyard, be able to kill Tarmogoyf with a Lightning Bolt.
He only has 1 in the 75, so I'm guessing that Jasper kind of agrees with your sentiments on this card. He's not very... Only having 1 of it in the deck shows that you're not very thrilled.
Yeah, the deck called Burn. It's a spell
not called Removal.
Yeah. It's not red-white control. It's Burn.
Well, these players will shuffle up for game 2. We're going to take a second to tell you about the Star City Games newsletter. So if you haven't had this is free. So you just sign up on the Star City Games website. It's right in the upper right-hand corner. Just click on newsletter, type in your Your email address takes about 30 seconds, and you can get your source or Magic the Gathering news every week. So what is in this? We get your latest on the SCG Tour. You have links to the match of the week if you have missed the coverage from that weekend. You get exclusive. Every month we have a different writer for exclusive deck lists and articles about the current formats of the week, so you get exclusive content to catch up on all that and get a cardboard crack comic. And really, it's all free, so there's no reason not to sign up today. StarCityGames.com/newsletter. Tab over in your browser right now. 30 seconds out of your life.
Yeah.
Free information. You can read it. You can not read it. It'll just show up in your inbox.
If you're watching this broadcast, I assume that you want to win Magic tournaments.
That you like Magic.
This is a free resource to help you do that.
Jasper keeping 7. Emma going to 6. Now, I was going to say taking a trip to Paris because, the Paris mulligan, but now is it Vancouver? Is that the new terminology if you want to be all artsy about it?
We're going up north.
We're going north. Is that what we say?
Our hand size is going south.
So now I can't say we're going to Paris. Do I have to say we're going to Vancouver?
You can't say we're going to Paris. I don't think that there's a concrete thing you have to say.
If I say, because the problem is going to Paris going to Vancouver just sounds weird. Like, they'd be like, why are you going to Vancouver?
Oh, Vancouver is lovely.
I love Vancouver. It's a great city.
It's a mouthful, but
it's just it's not as cliche.
It's like nicer than Paris.
We're not actually. I'm talking about the cliche nature of the phrase.
Whatever. You have your way of thinking about it. I have mine.
Okay, I could just.
We're going down to 6.
Emma, Raging Ravine, her first play. We go over to Jasper. Turn 1, suspend Rift Bolt. Normally you'll see a creature on turn 1 from burn, but I find in this matchup that the burn spells are actually the scariest part.
Yeah, with Jund, you have Lightning Bolts, you have Terminates, you have Abrupt Decays. You can deal with the creature. The first hit probably connects, but you have a 1 or a 2-point burn spell.
Emma, her second land drop was Blackcleave Cliffs, so she's taking 0 off her lands. That's great. We see Jasper's turn 2 is Eidolon of the Great Revel. Emma will cast Terminate on it, but damage is done. She goes to 15, draws for the turn.
Enchantment in the graveyard. That which
creature,
dies, feeds the Tarmogoyf. No Goyfs yet, but that will be relevant, I assume.
Overgrown 2-minute play, tapped for Emma Handy. And Jasper will just, do 20 points upstairs. Here's Lava Spike. Emma's down to 12. His hand appears to be Lightning Bolt, Boros Charm, at the very least. So he has Emma at 5 in his head. But Kalidas, Traitor to get. That's the big play here for Emma. Now, the 3-4 doesn't matter, but the lifelink sure does.
Certainly. So now the pressure is on Jasper to either kill Emma in this turn cycle, which is certainly possible with 3 more burn spells or more Boros Charms, or to have a Skull Crack for every lifelink trigger.
So Jasper will, on Emma's end step, fetch out a land. He will cast Boros Charm. Emma's down to 8. I suppose, in theory, Jasper could just deal 8 here. And yeah, his hand is Lightning Bolt, Lightning Bolt, Lava Spike, Shard Volley, 3 mountains in play. How about 9 more points of burn? That's one way to get around Kalidas.
Yeah, that's significantly better than if Jasper had a Path to Exile. The deck is called Burn. Yeah, just remove the opponent from the game.
A turn 4 kill from Jasper on the draw is going to be good enough. 2 games to 0. Jasper Johnson-Epstein defeats Emma Handy to move to 5-1, looking for a second consecutive Milwaukee Open top 8.
Yeah, there was really nothing that Emma could have done. She took that trip to Vancouver/Paris. I think that keep was totally defensible, and that game 1 was just really heartbreaking. That Lightning Bolt off the top wrapped things up when Emma was just 1 turn away from cracking back for lethal.
Game 2 kind of seemed like it was just, you can watch game 2 and my analysis would be, this is why it's not